Due to popular demand, here is my Adventurer Toon deck for Master Duel. Now I do have to say, it's a bit of a weird one. A few months ago, I uploaded my Adventurer Toon Sky Striker deck, and that was my real life deck just for fun, by the way. So if you look at this and you think, whoa, this sucks, this is a fun deck. It is, in my opinion, probably the best way to play Toon cards, without dying constantly. But obviously, this is not a Sword Soul. This is not a Adventurer Punk, Adventurer Phantom Knights, Adventurer Prankits, Adventurer Eldritch. This is nothing like that. This is my fun deck trying to make Toon cards work somehow. So don't, judge this as a competitive deck. But it is very fun. The whole goal here is to just steal our opponent's board and OTK. So this is always going second. So if you think how do you go first? You don't go first. You always go second. Always. You just break your opponent's board apart. That's the only thing we're trying to do. We do that with cards that steal our opponent's monsters. We have Comic Hand. We have Hidden Armory searching for Comic Hand. We have Widow Anchors. We have Relinquished Anima. We have Toon Cyber Dragon, so we can Chimeratic Mega Fleet their main monster zone. We have Lava Golem, so we can get rid of really hard to get rid of monsters. We have Triple Tactics Talents. We have a lot of ways to just tear open boards. I don't know. Enjoy. So we have one Effect Veiler. This is for if we took a tuner from our opponent somehow, then we can always Selene access code. Of course, that doesn't come up very often, but it's still worth just running the one in my opinion. Worst case, you normal summon it and make a Relinquished Anima out of it, but it's not that insane either, obviously. Then we have our Jet Synchron. This is just another thing to search from Hulk. So if you already drew your Veiler, maybe you hand trapped your opponent, you could steal a tuner, you go Hulk, Jet Synchron into Anima, revive Jet Synchron back, and then Anima plus Hulk makes Selene. Selene brings back Veiler, and then Veiler plus Selene forms access code, and now you have the Jet Synchron still on board with an access code, so any monster you stole is itself together with the stolen monster, so Jet Synchron plus the stolen monster makes Verte, and then Verte makes DPE. And that's OTK. You break your opponent's board open, and that is literally game, because it's a 5 plus 2, 5 plus 5, 3. Is that always your game plan? No, but it's one card, and now you have access to the play, so you might as well. Then we have 3 Magician Souls. This is particularly good because we are playing the Brave Token engine, so if you want to be able to draw a billion cards while also having a Spellcaster, which makes it easier to make Selene, whilst also being a level 1, so you can make Relinquished Anima, while also baiting the gates, because are you going to let me draw 2 cards? You can add that in, and we only have to play 1 semi-brick for that, but this isn't even bad because this can also just be a body to make a Verte, which is always solid. Then we have 3 Maxi, because of course, if our opponent is going first, then we Maxi them, we might be drawing a bunch of cards to now go second better. Then we have 2 Water Enchantress, which is part of the Brave Token engine. We have a Celestial and a Dasher, which is part of the DPE engine. We have 1 Toon Cyber Dragon. This is a way to break boards, like I said, we can special summon this and then make a Chimeratic Mega Fleet to steal our opponent's main monster zone card. So if you're going up against Adignister, this card is a OTK, this just auto wins the game. If your opponent is making an Appaloosa in that zone, you take it, it's yours now. If your opponent plays PK, so they have a Rusty in that zone, you Toon Cyber and it's over once again. So there's a lot of things you can do with a Toon Cyber Dragon, and we have 3 searchers for it. We have the bookmarks, we have the Toon tables, so you will always have it if you need it. Then we have the Apprentice Illusion Magician, which is required for the Magician Souls, but worst case, if you drew it again, you can simply use it to make a Verte. Then we have Wandering Griffin Rider, because this is part of the Brave Token engine, it's a negate, it's absolutely insane. We have 3 Lava Golem, because this breaks boards apart like no other. You can literally just go hey, Sword Soul, here's an auto win. Straight up, they have Baron and Chao, whatever the hell, and then you just get rid of those, and their blackout is no longer live, because this is not a worm, and so they don't get to play the game anymore. There's a bunch of other decks as well that you can auto win with this. If your opponent is side locking you with Hulk, Hulk TG Wonder, you can just make this your first move in the main phase, and then they also don't get to play the game. There's a lot of things you can do with a Lava Golem that auto wins games. Also, this is extra good in this deck because we don't have to normal summon. Nothing in this deck normal summons. The only thing you might right normal summon is like this Veiler to make Hulk, but like seriously, that's not happening. So we don't need our normal summon, and then they have a 3k body that we then just steal with Comic Hand, and then we can just, you know, bash them. Foolish Burial to get our Water Enchantress engraved, but if we already have the right thing, we can also Foolish Burial into Jet Synchron, which means we now have 2 cards that actually make Hulk in order to Veiler, in order to Selene. Then we have 3 Toon Table of Contents because that searches all of our Toon cards. We have 1 Hidden Armory, which is a way to search Comic Hand. This card is especially good in this deck because it also mills a card, so you can mill into one of your spells, which gets your Sky Striker cards live more easily because you need 3 spells in the graveyard. It also turns off your normal summon, but this deck doesn't normal summon, so we don't care. This card, Engage, is absolutely amazing. This is a Pot of Greed that also searches one of our Monster Seal spells. It is always going to be live with 3 spells in graveyard because, again, we have so many spells, especially because we can literally go Toon Table of Contents, Toon Table of Contents, Toon Table of Contents, and we're there because those can just search each other. This deck is also better in this game rather than in the TCG because Sky Striker engages at 2 instead of 1. Then we have 2 Fusion Destiny. Fusion Destiny is part of the DPE stuff, so sometimes you can just, you know, break your opponent's board apart, having, you know, used all your cards, and then you can just go, Fusion Destiny, Lamau, it's over. Then we have Triple Tactics Talents, again, super good for breaking boards going second. Toon Bookmark, I have a Royal Finish one. Look at this. So beautiful. This is, again, you know, a Toon Searcher. We have a Rite of a Remisier, which is part of the Brave Token engine. We have Comic Hand. This is the reason I even play Toons. There's no good Toon cards, okay? If you play Toons, the 2 best Toon cards are Toon Cyber Dragon and Comic Hand. So we can literally just go, okay, Comic Hand, give that to me. I'm gonna attack directly as well. Draco Back is actually better in this deck than in most Brave Token decks because you can now actually use its bounce rather than just using this as a discard fodder. Toon World. Now, I know people are gonna be screaming because people are like, Toon Kingdom is better. Toon Kingdom is better in every way. Why don't you use Toon Kingdom? Toon Kingdom protects your Toons. Do you see any Toons? Do you see Toons to protect in this deck? The only Toon you can protect in this deck is the thing you steal with Comic Hand because it becomes a Toon. But the reason you want to use Toon World instead of Toon Kingdom is Toon Kingdom banishes the top 3. Imagine you activate Toon Kingdom and you banish a Griffin, or you banish a Celestial, or you banish a Dasher, or you banish a Draco Back, or you banish a Hornet Drones, or you banish a Fateful Adventure, or you banish an Illusion Magician. There are so many cards in this deck that you never, ever, 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 ever want to banish that Toon Kingdom is absolute dog shit. You are more often gonna lose to your Toon Kingdom Banish 3 than to your opponent if you're playing Toon Kingdom. For that reason, we're playing Toon World. Toon World lets us use our Comic Hand without auto-losing to ourselves from time to time. Yeah, it's 1,000 life points, but that doesn't matter. If you don't OTK them, you're losing anyway. Then we have Fateful Adventure, part of the Brave Token engine. We have 1 Hornet Drones because this allows us to play all these Sky Striker cards. Like, you can literally go, you know, use all of your Toon shit. You have 3 spells. You go Engage, search for Hornet Drones and draw a card. Hornet Drones makes a token. Token turns into Kagari. Kagari adds back the Engage. Activate Engage. Search for a Widow Anchor. Draw a card. And now you've resolved 2 Pot of Greeds. And you have a body. And you are able to steal a monster. And then after that, you start using all of this other crap. So really, really, really powerful stuff, Hornet Drones. And then, of course, like I said, Widow Anchor, really good for stealing monsters. Also negating, but usually it's just going to be theft. 2 Forbidden Droplets. You know, sometimes that might come up. Maybe you don't want to be side-locked or something. If you want to play 3 copies of this, be my guest. It's good. I don't have anything against it. Then we have DPE, because it's a crazy card. We have Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon right here for the Toon Cyber Dragon. We have a Zeus. Now you might think, hey, you're not playing Exesis. Why are you playing Zeus? Well, essentially, this is like the oh shit button. If we are able to break our opponent's board, but not really, like you notice your hand and you go, damn, I'm not OTKing. If they have an Xyz, you just steal it, attack with it. Now an Xyz battled, and now you just put your Zeus on top of it. And not only did you steal their Xyz, they're not getting it back, and you have a Zeus. So this is just an oh shit button, but it doesn't come up that often. Kagari, all the other Sky Striker cards, basically just for Sky Striker shenanigans. Read them on your own time. Usually it's just gonna be for Kagari though. Then we have a Relinquished Anima. Like I said, we have a bunch of level 1s, and of course, stealing our opponent's monsters is really good. Another way this card is actually much better in this deck than in others is that we're playing Lava Golem. So you're literally gonna place this Lava Golem specifically in the correct arrow for Anima to steal it. Simple as that. Like, people play around Anima all the time, but you can just choose to put the Golem in the correct little hole, and there you go. You have an Anima that steals that thing, and now it's a 3000 attacker. Then we have the other Sky Striker card. We have Hulk, again, like I said, with the line with Jet Synchron and Veiler and so forth. We have Verte to make an easy DPE. We have another Sky Striker card. We have Lina. Now, again, Lina is like not that insane, but I feel it's the most relevant attribute until we have Dark. So straight up, you're basically hoping that you're stealing a light or you make it with Toon Cyber Dragon. But beyond that, this is again, like I needed one Charmer because it's also easy to make Celine with it, and I felt like this was the attribute that was gonna come up the most. If you disagree with that, that's fine. Maybe you can put in another Charmer or some other card, but I'm just waiting for Dark mostly. Then we have Unicorn, which again spins something from the opponent. It's also a way to make access code depending on things you can be stealing. Like maybe you took a Link 2 from your opponent, like a Hulk or something like that, and then now any monster plus the Hulk makes Unicorn, you spin something from your opponent, any other monster plus that makes access code, and it's GG. Then we have our Celine, like I said, with the line with Hulk, also easy to make with Alina, and also easy to make with the Magician Soul. And then finally we have access code, again really easy to OTK. So this is my Adventurer Toon deck. It's all in good fun. Like I said, it's not a hyper competitive thing, but it's really funny. If you found this type of stuff interesting, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.